Hello everyone. So today I am going to continue your present described poem, that is The Voice of the Rain and written by Walt Whitman. I have told you in my previous video that I will explain two terms, that is metaphor and extended metaphor. So before we start the explaining of the stanza of this poem, let us have an idea about these two terms, metaphor and extended metaphor. As you can see on the board that I have written the definition of metaphor. It is that a word or a phrase that is used in an imaginative way to show that somebody or something has the same qualities as another thing. It means that metaphor is a literary device that we use to compare one thing to the other, and it is compared directly without taking the help of the words such as and like. If we use these words, that means it is simile, and if we do not use such words, that means it is metaphor. For example, her words were a knife in his heart. Her words were a knife in his heart means that this is compared to a knife, and it has been compared without taking the help of these two words. So this is metaphor because words have been compared with knife. Okay, now let's get an idea about extended metaphor. It is also a metaphor, but the definition and the works and the function is somewhat changed rather than the original figures of speech metaphor. Let us read the definition of this literary device. An extended metaphor is a metaphor that unfolds. Unfolds means open. It opens across multiple interrelated metaphors within an overarching. It means it is just like a metaphor but is in extended form. Now let us read an example to hold a better catch on these figures of speech. That is, life is a highway. So it is a simple metaphor. Life is a highway because I have compared life with this word highway. Means life has been compared to the word highway. Now let us extend this word and let us get an idea how we create an extended metaphor. So read again. Life is a highway that takes us through green pastures. Now green pasture is interconnected with highway. Where do you find green pastures? At highway, just both sides of the road. Vast deserts. Where do you find vast deserts? It may be found at highway. And also rocky mountains. Sometimes it is also interrelated with this word highway. Sometimes your car breaks down. The car. Where are you? And by which medium you are traveling? By car. So car is on the highway and it is also interrelated with this word. Now move on. You run out of fuel. Maybe it is possible Possibly that you will run out of the fuel on the highway when you are going to travel on it. Then you get lost. Now where are you? You are on the highway. So you are also interrelated with the word highway. Friends are road maps. Now friends are means that this word friends are compared to the road maps, and road maps are interrelated with the highway also. Even it is interrelated with the word highway that help you get where you are going. So we have seen that a simple metaphor, life is a highway, are extended through many and multiple sentences and ideas that is interconnected with the word highway. So this is the extended metaphor. It is necessary to tell you because in this poem extended metaphor has been used, and each time, as you know that the rain itself says that I am the poem of the earth. It means rain compares itself with the poem of the earth. So whenever rains will describe itself, it means that it will describe the poem itself. Now, why rain is compared to poem? This is the question. Rain is equal to poem. It means the rain is just like the poem. You know, poem, when we read poem is just like a lyric. It is like a song. When we hear song, when we listen song, then we get joy, we get pleasure, we get happiness. It changes our mood, and it has also a musical qualities. A poem, a lyric, a song, it has also a musical quality, and all these qualities will be found in the rain. Now, soft falling of the rain, you have read at the first stanza that soft falling rain, it will create a musical quality. It also has a musical quality just like the song, just like the poem. So rain has also musical quality. So each time rain describes itself, you have to compare with the word poem, and it will be interrelated, interconnected, and that is why a simple sentence that I am the poem of the earth has been extended through the extended metaphor literary devices that has been used by our poet. Okay, students, so it is time for the explanation of the stanza. From here, we have just ended our previous stanzas, and we have to begin from here. So here, the rain continues to tell about itself. It describes how it is formed and its function, what it did for the earth, and what it is going to do for the world, and what it will do for the earth. The first line is upward to heaven. Heaven means sky. Heaven means sky. Upward to heaven, whence vaguely formed, altogether changed and yet the same. Whence means from where. So now the first condition of the rain is when it rises up from the sea. The originating place of the rain is sea, and the rain just rises up, and it is in the form of evaporation. It is in the form of evaporation. And if we compare this thing with a poem, then we find that the first state of water, that is evaporation, it is vaguely formed, means that it is not very clear, it is invisible, and it is untouched, just like the poet thoughts are in his mind. It is not in a written work, he is just thinking about his ideas and his thoughts. So here we have extended the poem. That means just remind it, I am the poem of the earth. So the thoughts, the ideas is just interrelated with the poem. A poet thoughts in his mind, he just writes down on the paper. So this is the first state of water evaporation, and it is interrelated with the poet's ideas. So in this line, the rain tells that it rises up to the sky, and rises from the sea, and it is vaguely formed. It is not clear. It is invisible, and it is likely described itself to be changed, and even it is unchanged. It is the same thing, that is a water. Now let us read the second line of this poem. I descend to leave the droughts, atomies, dust layers of the globe. So what happens? It is the second state of the water. It just condensed and it forms itself as a cloud. Now it is the second state, and if we compare to the poem and interrelated ideas, then the initial thought of a poet is just formed out, and it is in the form of written record on the paperback. So it is also interrelated with the poem. The idea that rain gives us, it is interrelated with the poem. It is thought, it is ideas. So here there is extended metaphor has been used by the poet. Now let's get the explanation, the meaning of this line. When it forms itself as a cloud, it just falls down the earth and it washes. Lave means to wash. It washes out and gives the new life to dry vegetation, to dry trees and plants, and atomies means small fine particles of the earth. It also cleans the dust layers of the globe. Globe means environment. So the rain has a quality to nourish, just like a poem has a nourishing and cleansing quality of the reader. If we read the next line, and all that in them without me was seeds only, latent and unborn. Latent means hidden, and unborn means that has not been born. So in this line, the poet tells us that if there will be no rainfall, there will be no rain, then the seeds on the earth will not grow. It will be remain hidden in the earth, in the soil, and it will be remain unborn. So if we compare these lines to the poet's thought or poem, we find out that these poems or ideas will make the reader to inspire them, and they will write their own thoughts on the paper. We will have the next line, and forever, by day and night, I give back life to my own origin. So the purpose of the rain is to provide the service to the dry vegetation and to make the earth more greenery and to make a new life to the dying vegetation, trees, plants, etc. These are the purpose of the rain, and it does very honestly. It is the last line of the poem, and make pure and beautify it. So what does the rain do? The rain, when it falls on the earth, it just beautifies the earth, just it make it pure, and it cleans out all the dust of the earth. It also gives a new life to the earth. So in the last line, if we compare this line to a poem or thoughts or ideas, so we find that a poem perform the same role just like a rain. It means that it replenishes the humanity with life just like the rain does to the vegetation and the environment. A few lines are enclosed by the parenthesis, and why the poet has enclosed these lines in bracket, it means parenthesis, because it is the observation of the poet, what the poet has observed about rain and a poetry he has written in this bracket. Okay, so the poet just compared once again the rain with the poetry, that he says that for song, if we say about the song, for song issuing from the birthplace, means that a song, a poetry, when it has been issued from the birthplace, it means that the musician's mind, from a poet minds, and just it travel around the earth and it fulfills all the needs as a rain does, and just wondering about it return to the origin places. It is raked or unraked. Raked means whether it has been heated, noted or noticed, or whether it has not been heated or noticed, it doesn't matter, but it returns with full love and care. So these were the explanation of these lines, and if you have any problem in doubt, will ask me. Till then I will say to you goodbye, and I will make the third video about setting and other things that I have mentioned in the first video. Thank you very much.